Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of ShowMeFootball.com and ArrowheadAddict.com, back with yet another video about the Kansas City Chiefs. And guys, I wanted to make a video today. I know there hasn't been a ton going on right now, and I haven't actually been producing a lot of content, mostly because there hasn't been a lot going on right now. But we did find out yesterday that now former Chiefs defensive end Melvin Ingram is headed to the Miami Dolphins. So Jordan Schultz first had the report that Melvin Ingram was heading to the Dolphins yesterday in the afternoon, but Adam Schefter came out with the official contract details, saying it's a 1-year, $5 million contract. I imagine there is a lot of incentives in there, though, kind of like there was in his last deal that he signed last offseason. A lot of it was based on incentives, but nonetheless, he signs with the Miami Dolphins instead of the Kansas City Chiefs. So obviously Melvin Ingram was a popular bring-back candidate among Chiefs fans, and it made a lot of sense bringing him back this offseason if possible, because he came in here and he really changed the tone for the defense and the defensive line more specifically. He really bolstered this pass rush. He didn't have a lot of sacks, but he did get a lot of pressure, and you can argue that he was a huge part of the defensive turnaround last season. I myself wanted to see him back. I think he was a no-brainer to bring back next year, but obviously everything had to fall into place for that to happen, and it just didn't quite work. The Kansas City Chiefs weren't able to work something out with him for whatever reason, or maybe he just decided he wanted to go to Miami instead, because if you guys remember, the Chiefs actually put a tender on him shortly after the draft, and what that tender did was it essentially made sure that no matter what, he makes at least what he made last year, the last contract that he signed, okay? So that means that the Dolphins, now that we signed him for $5 million, obviously that's more than what the Chiefs paid him last year. Now, I say what the Chiefs paid him. The Chiefs only paid him like less than $1 million. The Steelers were on the book for the rest of his contract since he originally signed that contract with the Steelers and then was traded to the Chiefs. So that tender meant that someone had to at least match that $4 million or so that he signed for last year, and it means that now with Ingram signing with someone else not named the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chiefs still get a compensatory draft pick after the fact that the compensatory pick deadline has passed. But since they put that tender on him, they're still going to get a pick for Melvin Ingram, which is still nice, even though I'd rather have Melvin Ingram. So now that Melvin Ingram is off the table, now what? Honestly, guys, I've been seeing a lot of people saying that, oh, well, Melvin Ingram not signing with us isn't life or death for the pass rush or anything. Would have been nice to have him back, but it wasn't essential. And, at this point in the offseason, I disagree. Because I remember a lot of people last year said the same exact thing when Melvin Ingram ended up signing with the Steelers ultimately. They said, we didn't really need Melvin Ingram all that much. It's no big deal. And then it turned out, yeah, we really needed him. Now, of course, this time you have a talented rookie in George Karlaftis in the fold. Last year, the Chiefs didn't really have a lot to look forward to at the defensive end position. Josh Kando was really their only investment in the offseason in defensive end. So you at least have him, but at the same time, looking at what they had last year, which was Clark and Chris Jones on the edge when they moved him out there and a bunch of other guys, now it's Clark and a rookie. I think Clark and a rookie is marginally better than what you had last year, but still we have no idea what Karlaftis is going to be, especially in year one, and I much rather would have had Clark, Karlaftis, and Ingram. Instead, you only have Clark and Karlaftis, and that is really underwhelming to me because you look at what's behind them, and Josh Kando, Mike Dana, that's not great depth. In fact, it's not depth at all because you can't have bad depth. It's just that you have depth or no depth, and the Chiefs don't really have any depth at defensive end. And yeah, was Melvin Ingram a world beater? Was he going to be the greatest thing in the world? No, of course not. But at this point in the offseason, look at what else is out there. If we're talking about Melvin Ingram or nothing, I would much rather have Melvin Ingram than nothing, and that almost kind of looks like what it is. Because there's just not very many people out there. I know Nate Taylor of The Athletic reported that the Chiefs would have been interested in adding a veteran defensive end still after the draft. He named Melvin Ingram, and he named Mario Addison. Well, Mario Addison is off the table. He went to Houston. Jerry Hughes was another popular one. He signed somewhere recently, and I can't remember which. He might have also signed with Houston, but either way, he's off the table. You know, at this point, I'd consider Jadeveon Clowney, and I've always considered Jadeveon Clowney. A lot of people don't like Jadeveon Clowney because he's overrated and he doesn't get sacks. You know what? He plays really strong. He's a good run defender. He has been able to get a lot of pressure over the years. Even though he isn't a big sack guy, he generates a lot of pressure, almost kind of like Melvin Ingram last year. And he's also known to draw a lot of double teams, which sounds really good for this pass rush. Still think you need a veteran in there in case Clark becomes unreliable, which, if you look at the entirety of his career here in Kansas City, is probably going to happen at one point or another. And also, George Karlaftis is a rookie, and he's going to need time to come along. It would be nice to have someone else in here just as a stopgap. Brett Veach also did have a press conference recently where he talked about the Chiefs' flexibility that they still have and maybe still adding more to the defensive line. He specifically mentioned the defensive line. So I kind of wonder what the plan is, because it seems like they really wanted Ingram back, and now that he's not here, you're on plan B, plan C. I think their plan B has probably already been signed at this point. Jerry Hughes and Mario Addison, those were two names that were connected to the Chiefs. So I'm not sure where they go from here. Maybe there's a trade brewing out there for someone we're not thinking of. Maybe the Robert Quinn idea is still viable. I'm not sure. So at the end of the day, losing Melvin Ingram, it stings, in my opinion. I mean, not because Melvin Ingram was a world beater. He's also going to be another year older next year. We don't know how much he has left in the tank. But when you look at what is still out there in free agency, I would have rather had Melvin Ingram than the field. So that's where I'm concerned, is where else do you go now? And this pass rush still isn't done. It can't be done. I don't think they have enough. So those are my thoughts, but I would like to hear from you guys. Would you have liked Melvin Ingram back? Are you surprised that he ended up signing with the Dolphins? Let me know. All that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And make sure you check out my work on ShowMeFootball.com and ArrowheadAddict.com. I will see you all in the next one.